All right, and welcome back, my homies, to the No Business Soccer Podcast, where we have no business talking about soccer, but guess what? We're doing it anyways. I'm excited to be here. I'm your host, Snooze. I'm here with our boy Daniel in the back, except he's not there, so it's just J Fam today hanging out with us. We got my boy Hype Man Vic over here, and you smell that, guys? Smells expensive. Smells a bit like manly. And I think that's some whiskey. Vic, tell us what we're drinking today, baby.
Damn right, baby. First off, we're repping our Austin FC. They got a game tomorrow against LAFC. Good luck.
Oh, it's going to go great.
Continuing that, sorry, that's my mic stand. Continuing that, we're going to be repping Still Austin, keeping with the Austin theme. It's just straight bourbon whiskey, delicious. It smells like peach rings. If you like them peach rings, and it's gonna be a good day.
Peach rings, okay. I love peach rings, so yeah, delicious. I think I'd drink that. Not a big drinker, but you know,
there's time.
This is the weird part, though. Okay, before we jump into this is the weird part. People always say like, "There's these subtle notes of blah blah blah." Like, no, it tastes like fucking alcohol. That's what it tastes like.
There is subtle notes.
That's what it tastes like.
I'll learn you some.
Okay, all right, fine. Well, before he learns me that, we're gonna have to learn you some Euro 2024 Match Day 1 recap. Today, we're going to be recapping all the games that happened in Match Day 1, where the teams are going from here. And yeah, it's just been a really, really fun match day so far. Match Day 1 so far. Looking forward to the rest of the games. And so, yeah, let's get started. We're going to start over with the first game that happened. Germany versus Scotland. Ass whooping. Done.
That was bad. That was bad.
Yeah. Do you want to start off, sir?
Sure. I mean, I can tell you right now it was 5-1. But it was really 6-0 because Germany actually made our
own goal.
Had an own goal, yeah.
they were dominating, huh?
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. But Germany looked like the front runner coming straight out of the gate, firing cylinders. It looked amazing.
And we had a discussion about this, right? That in order for them to look like the team that's going to win this, they needed to get their young guys firing. Florian Wirtz, Jamal Musiala. Well, they did that within the first 20 minutes. So it looks like they're on their way. Yeah, this was pretty much domination the whole time. It really all unraveled after that red card in the 45th minute. By that point, they were 3-0 up going into halftime, going into the next half with an extra man. It was never close. They brought in Fulkrug. And he scores right away. They bring in Emery Chan, who wasn't even supposed to be there. They didn't even call his ass up, and then he gets on the field and scores for fun. Yeah, 5-1. Like Vic was saying, 6-0 really. And it just doesn't look good for Scotland. I was really hoping they'd show us something, but at this point, it feels like they're going to be last in that group and not get a point out of it. Anything I missed there?
No, that pretty much covered it, and they pretty much covered the whole field on that one. It was pretty.
Yeah, good. That was really bad. Looking forward to their next matches. Germany has Hungary Wednesday at 11. Scotland has Switzerland Wednesday at 2. And the way that Switzerland were playing, we'll just move right along. Look at that segue. Hungary versus Switzerland, and the way that Switzerland are playing, it looks like Scotland might be getting another ass whooping, because Switzerland beat Hungary 3-1. And if we're being honest, that one goal, it did come in the second half late, and it just didn't really feel like Hungary were going to ever win that game. But I do want to call out in the first half, Abishur. I put a note here that Abishur, to make sure that I call out Abishur, because he was on fire that day. That was awesome. Look at that, professional. First goal was him setting up Dua. He put a perfect pass through on goal between 4 people, and he nails it right by the keeper. The second goal, he's 5 yards outside of the box, shifts the ball to his right foot with one touch, and then bam, right through the goal. I mean, Abishur was on fire. I'd known we didn't really bring him up because we knew the name, but we didn't really know how good he could actually be. But for this team to kind of be put on his back, because at this point, like we were saying, they have a lot of older teammates, right? If you're looking at Xhaka and you're looking at Shaqiri, they're kind of the old regime, and he's coming in and he's saying, "Hey, don't worry, I'll take this team on my back." Yeah, what a really great game for him to come in and shine. And then of course the last goal, Briel Mbola, he lost a shoe or his pants or something. I don't know. He scores. Mbolo scores as he's just running away with the ball. Vic, anything you want to say on this one?
No, that was just funny. I didn't even know where it came from. It just like it looked like he stepped on it and it came out of the field somehow. It was pretty weird.
Yeah, yeah. The
But yeah,
announcer was like, "Looks like he lost his boot." Like, yeah, I mean, looks like he lost something. I don't know what that was. I think it was a knee brace or a hamstring brace, something. I don't know. They wear all that weird stuff. But yeah, Switzerland beats Hungary 3-1, and in the next match, Hungary, they just have a little team called Germany. Wednesday at 11, and then again, like we said, Scotland, Switzerland are playing as well.
2:00
So
Wednesday.
2:00
It'll be
Wednesday. Moving on to Spain and Croatia. This one they threw down in Berlin, and Spain won 3-0. This was kind of like the highlighted match, the best one of the weekend, and yeah, it was never close. Honestly, it looked like Spain was the better team, and it wasn't a game really. We also spoke about Spain needing Morata to score, because if they were going to go anywhere in this tournament, he was going to be the guy that was going to be the one scoring the goals, and he scores one in the 28th minute. So can't do too much better than that. And then that goal was assisted by Fabian Ruiz. He kind of split the defenders, put him in on goal perfectly. But then in the 32nd minute, Fabian Ruiz, you should watch the highlights of this goal if you haven't seen it. He takes the ball, kind of shifts from the left foot to the right foot to pass someone, back to the left foot to pass someone else, and then nails it with that left foot. Beautiful to watch. This guy's awesome. And, if he's going to be assisting Morata like that, then yeah, they can go really far. It sucks because Croatia didn't really have a chance. Like, it was even on paper, you think that they were pretty good. They were going to be a pretty good match, and it never really was. And then, of course, Danny Carvajal, the goal scoring extraordinaire in the Champions League, and now in this game, gets that third goal, assisted by Yamal, the 16-year-old. He might be 17 year. I don't know how old he is now, but either way, he looks like a freaking baby out there, a giant baby, but he's a baby. And yeah, man, it really, if Croatia, they had chances, but if they would have taken them, it might have been a game, but they just didn't look like they were ready for it.
Yeah, I think Modric only had about like 1 or 2 pokes at the ball. Touches, really good touches, I guess, in the opposing team's third. But yeah, they looked just a little bit out of sorts. It was kind of weird watching, but they're getting a little bit older. Next matches for Spain is going to be Italy Thursday at 2:00. That's going to be a really good one to watch. And then Croatia plays Albania tomorrow at 8 a.m. So, and tomorrow being Wednesday. Sorry, you're probably not watching the same day as we are recording this. So Wednesday at 8 a.m.
I just have to say, as we were talking about in the breakdown, I do feel part Croatian because, got family through my wife's side. And I was wearing, whenever we went to Croatia, I bought this. 2019, it was tight. It's like a cut off Croatian flag beach shirt, and put it on to watch that game. And first off, I looked like a chorizo or something, man. It was not looking good. But then on top of that, they got their ass whooped, man. It sucked. I was hoping for a little bit
those
better.
Sizes are different in Europe. They're a little bit different over there in Europe.
Yeah, extra large bullshit. It's not extra large. But either way, Croatia, let's get Albania. Let's put a whooping on them, and let's get something going here. Okay, so enough of that one. Let's move on to Italy and Albania. Now, this game, Italy started off looking nervous defensively, and because the Albanians scored in the first minute. And if you're watching that game, the crowd and the announcers, like, it was chaos. It was a bad throw in from DeMarco into the box. I can't remember his name, Bahrami. I don't know how to say it, but he gets on it and then just puts his freaking leg through it, rifles it in the top corner, and they were up in the first minute. And you just thought, no way this is going to happen. Even when it happened, though, like, you guys can tell me if I'm off base here, but it just never felt like Albania were actually going to win the game. It was just kind of like a very cool moment, right?
Yeah,
That's how I felt.
That's pretty spot on, yeah.
And so, but Italy equalized 10 minutes later. Bastoni gets a header, and he was wide. He just walked up to the ball and just kind of put it in there. And then, of course, the goals just kept getting better as we went deeper into the tournament. But Barella, he takes a one-touch deflected ball just right past the keeper. Beautiful strike, amazing goal, and it was 2-1. And then that was in the 16th minute. The thing that really happened, or the thing that really gets me, is that nothing happened after that. It was kind of like Italy just sat back and we're like, yeah, we're better than Albania. We're not really getting pressured, or we're not worried about losing this game. So let's just kind of sit back. And it's like, yeah, but the goal differential could mean a lot. Croatia and Spain, like, it's a tough group. I don't know. Maybe that's not what they were doing, but it certainly felt like that once they got the second goal. They were kind of just sitting back thinking like, this team's not better than us, so we'll just let them come at us.
Well, luckily it didn't cost them. So
yeah, and we'll know a lot coming up, because Spain versus Italy is their next game Thursday at 2, and again Croatia and Albania Wednesday at 8. Anything I missed there? Or how would your buddy? Oh, you said you hadn't talked to him yet. Sorry, I could have left that out. My bad.
That also might be the reason I haven't talked to him, is because he watched that game and didn't want to talk to me.
Yeah, he's like, this is him. That's a good point, a good talking point, because I don't know if you're Italian and you watch this, tell us if you're excited about that. Like, how did the Italians feel about that match? As a third party, it was kind of boring to see you guys get up and then have a team that you're obviously better than and not just go at them and attack them. But let us know. I'd be curious to hear. Okay, moving on down. Poland versus the Netherlands. The Netherlands won 2-1. And we have some notes here. Really, Poland, they came out fast and they got up early, and it kind of felt like, whoa, where's this coming from? Lewandowski was hurt. Like, how is this team going to look without him? And they started off really fast. The problem was that most of the chances came after that by the Netherlands, and of course you have Gakpo's blast deflected shot. It wasn't. We can't say that it was perfect shot, but it was deflected. It went in.
It was pretty close to perfect, I'll say. Gakpo, I've always thought Liverpool's just always been so talented on the front that he gets buried in that lineup. So he didn't really get much playing time, but when he did, it was really solid. And I don't know if you remember my Group D breakdown, but one of the things I said was that Netherlands were so tall, like they're not going to lose any headers. And 16 minutes in, they lost a header to it. I was like, wow, crap. All right.
Analysis, bitch.
Yeah. Damn it.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Hey, but I don't know if Poland is a tall country, but I could imagine that they're probably tall. They just sound like they're tall. I don't know.
They were on that play, so.
And then another note here that I have is like that Depay, he's very good, gets good chances, but he just never finishes them. Who, like someone else we're going to talk about a little bit later. And if he could just get those chances to go in, this wouldn't have even been close, but he kept missing shot after shot, and it just, didn't look good for him. And the last note I have is that Poland actually looked really decent without Lewandowski. I thought they would look like one of the worst teams in the tournament. I wouldn't say, bottom, but definitely in the group they're in, maybe not too good, but they came out and they were taking it to the Netherlands. And then of course, once they tied it up, we all thought, okay, well, Netherlands, it looked like it was going to be a game where they were going to draw and it was going to start off bad for them. But the super sub Weghorst came in. I think it was his first touch. He gets a goal and they win 2-1. Crowd goes insane. And I don't know if you've been paying attention, but I sent it in the group chat too. The Dutch fans were insane. All that orange, they took over Hamburg, and it was insane. It makes me want to go see a game, not for one of their clubs, but like to go see a Dutch game, to go see the Netherlands play, just to party with them.
Yeah, we saw that. We reposted it on Instagram and our Twitter. So please go follow us. Let us know what you think. You can talk to us there as well. But absolute just seas of orange. Crowds going absolutely insane. That was absolutely crazy to see. So definitely go take a look.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun in Germany, like you're talking about Oktoberfest and stuff. I don't know if there's an Oktoberfest in the Netherlands or like their equivalent, but if that's how they party, that we need to go check
We
it out.
gotta go there. Yeah.
They look like some fun people. And of course, they get that 2-1 win. Super sub Veghorst getting that goal. Their next games, we have Poland versus Austria Friday at 11 and Netherlands versus France Friday at 2. That
Should
Netherlands
be a good
France game's
match.
looking mighty fine. Mighty fine.
Should be a real good
Good way
match.
to end a Friday. Okay, moving right down to Slovenia versus Denmark. Now, this game had it all. Denmark won, Slovenia won. It was a draw, not a very high scoring one, but what I mean by had it all was that what happened in the game was so much more than the score. Looked like Denmark were all over Slovenia in the first half. Like they weren't giving them an inch, and it ended with probably my favorite moment of that first match day. Christian Eriksen in the 17th minute gets a flicked on pass, brings it down with his chest, hits it off balance into the left side of the goal. Oh man, it was so awesome. And then it wasn't, well, of course the goal was awesome. If you watch it, it was a great goal, but it wasn't that the goal happened. It was the moment, who it was, how it happened, his redemption story. And you just see the whole crowd is just standing ovation. All of the Denmark players come over to him, hugging him. They just all knew what it meant. And even it was really like an emotional moment. You can feel it through the TV. So awesome to see. Anything you want to say about that, Vic?
That was actually super awesome to watch. It reminded me of I just wanted to know what he was thinking, like how he felt in that
Yeah.
moment, celebrating with his team, looking up at all the fans, and it just reminded me of Max Holloway. I don't know if you guys watch UFC as well, but that last moment where he points at the ground, says, "Come on!" He's fighting Justin Gaethje. He's going, and then he knocks
Oh,
him out.
yeah.
1 second left, knocks him out, and he's just going berserk. I was wondering, Erickson, how's he feeling? I was wondering, Holloway, how's he feeling in that moment? That's got to be top of the world moment. Just like I can't believe it. Unbelievable high, and I was wondering about that the entire time.
Well, one day we'll have to interview him and ask him how he felt.
We'll ask him. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, man. It was just so cool to see. I think the world collectively was kind of rooting for that to happen, and I'm really glad it happened so early, 17th minute in the first match they had. Because if not, then we would have all been waiting. Like when
Yeah.
when is he going to get that goal? Like, is it going to be this game? When is it happening? But happened in the 17th minute, so it's done. We can forget about it. And so after that goal, it was kind of just Denmark controlling everything until the second half, the second part of the second half, really. And then after that, Slovenia, they just came alive. And Sesko hit the post, and they had chance after chance. And then really, what it came down to was they end up getting a deflected ball past Schmeichel. It's 1-1. They're going crazy. But the best part about the whole thing was that they partied like they were winning the whole damn thing. Obviously there aren't supposed to be, they're not, the odds don't put them winning anything, but the fact that they got a draw against Denmark against a heavy, heavy favorite. Not only were they partying on the pitch the rest of the game, it ended 1-1, but their fans and the team were partying. You can see that celebrations inside the locker room. Oh man, it looks like it was a great time.
Yeah, and Slovenia's odds were to finish bottom of the group, so that's why they were partying hard. Like nobody gave them a shot, and they're over there playing Denmark.
Oh yeah,
it's like winning. But Slovenia, we'll see how they do against Serbia. They play Thursday morning, bright and early, 8 a.m. So breakfast and some soccer, can't beat it. And then Denmark play
never.
England. Yeah, Denmark play England Thursday at 11. That should be a pretty good matchup too.
Yeah, it looks like that'll be England's toughest matchup in this group. And with that said, we'll go right on down to their match against Serbia. They faced off in Gelsenkirchen. England did win that match 1-0. But you could tell from that match that teams are going to do the same thing in every game. They're either going to take out Jude Bellingham or they're going to take out Harry Kane. And in this game, Serbia straight up, their coach said it, that they were in Bellingham's pocket. They weren't going to give him any space. They weren't going to let him control the game. And from the start of the game, it looked like Serbia came out to say that, they weren't going to be bullied. But there's a reason why Jude Bellingham's one of the best in the world, because all he needs is one chance. He takes it with a header. And I think we were all texting whenever it happened, and we were just like, that the best word you can describe the header was like brave, because he was in a sea of people. He could have gotten hit in the head, punched, knocked out, kicked. I don't know. He could have, but he didn't worry about that. All he put his body on the line, shot through, and put his head on the ball right through the net, or right into the net. Man, it was amazing to watch. Jude, what a player. I can't wait to see what he does in the next games. But that was about that was about it for the glowing praise for England, because after that, I don't know if they were tired or what, but they just looked like they were obviously the better, more talented team, but they weren't taking it to Serbia like they were about to win that. What did you see, Vic?
I saw the same. I didn't really get to watch this one as much. I watched the highlights, and I think I caught part of the half, but I saw the same. It was just a bunch of, like, yeah, we got this. We just got to run out the clock and stuff like that, and it started early.
Exactly.
But it was kind of weird to watch, especially because a lot of people have England win the whole thing.
Right.
But,
yeah.
Hopefully they'll do it again. They play Denmark Thursday at 11. So hopefully they'll just turn around and kind of put their, foot on the pedal against Denmark and, crank things up.
Get it done.
Yeah, get it done and show us, why they're some of the favorites of this tournament. Also, Serbia will play Thursday at 8 a.m. against Slovenia. So it would be cool to see what happens there. I don't know. Hopefully we get some
That's game of the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be some games where, hopefully we see some really good highlights. And actually, I'll say that about a couple of games coming up. There's, not a lot on paper, but when you actually watch it play out, really good. But the last thing I'll say about England is that Phil Foden kind of disappeared in this game. He's supposed to be one of the better players in there. Not he's supposed to be. That sounds like I'm being a hater. He is one of the better team players on that team. But I don't know. I was listening to a lot of the BBC TalkSport type of podcast, trying to get some more information on like what happened, what were people thinking and saying. And it was kind of all the same. Like Phil Foden needs to find not only himself in the team, but his role, because he disappeared. And, if they're going to be marking Harry Kane, then they need to have him step up and be that other force, because Jude can't do it all by himself. I mean, maybe he can. We'll find out. But Phil Foden is there, and he needs to start picking it up. And hopefully they can get that, like you were saying, against Denmark in that next match. So moving right along to what I thought was my game of the tournament so far. It's Ukraine and Romania. And this game, like a few others, I think Hungary and Switzerland were on Fubo TV or whatever the hell. This is so dumb. Like, why? This is so dumb that we can't watch all the games. We need to figure that out. Do better. Who does this? Is this FIFA? No, this is UEFA. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we have Romania winning 3-0. They have, when you see 3-0, you think like that was a total domination. And technically it was, but it didn't really play out. Like when you're watching it, you never felt like Romania were the way better team. Really what happened is that Ukraine started off quick and they were just keeping the pressure on them. And you can kind of tell right away that the game plan was Ukraine was going to be on them until, they just kind of drown them until they can get a couple of goals and then just ride it out from there, right? Just kind of smothering them. But Romania, that's probably Victor's team of the tournament right now. They look like they were built on defense. I mean, those defenders were everywhere. My boy Dragusin for Tottenham, he was freaking monster out there. And what happens, 29th minute, Stanchu, I think that's how you say his name, Stanchu. He takes a ball, hits it just perfectly into the left side of the goal, top corner. I mean, the perfect strike. And the crowd goes insane. Romanian crowd was going insane. And that yellow they're wearing was so cool. Just seeing like a sea of yellow. But yeah, man, it was really cool. And that goal happens, you're kind of like, okay, like we're going to have a game now. It's going to be, I didn't think that Romania would keep that lead, but yeah, 1-0 going into halftime. And then, yeah, another long range goal. This time it was really, it was like the goalie should have saw it coming. He should have stopped it comfortably. But like I think because it was so far out, he couldn't really see it, and it just slipped underneath him. And yeah, they're 2 up. They're 2-0 up, and yeah, it kind of just got worse from there. Ukraine, it looked like, I mean, it was really hot at this game. I think a lot of games were kind of rainy, but this one was like just straight up sunshine. It looked like the Ukrainians were just kind of fading in the second half. I have notes here. Dragoshin, big tackles, just all over the place. They were just taking care of things. And then, yeah, a set piece happens. Ball gets deflected. It's 3-0, and Romanians are going crazy. It really sucked to see Ukraine with everything they're going through right now, like real life stuff, much more important than football, to go out 0-3. But it was really cool to see Romania do that. Vic, you have anything to say about this defending team built on defense?
No, I only saw this was when I was traveling. I was in the car during this match, so I couldn't watch all of it, or any of it. But I did hear about the defense and how Romania was doing really well, and I was like, damn, I kind of missed that. Yeah, I'll watch the next game. They play Belgium Saturday at 2:00, so it's right in the middle of the afternoon. I'll be able to watch that one, and definitely see that defensive masterpiece work again. I will even tune in Friday morning at 8 a.m. to watch Ukraine because I didn't watch them and I feel bad. So, and they play Slovakia, so that should be a pretty even matchup at least.
Yeah, and that next game, Romania Belgium. We'll talk about Belgium here in a second, but the way that Romania was defending, man, could be trouble for Belgium.
Yeah.
So moving right along, Belgium, Slovakia. They're playing it. They played at Frankfurt, and the score was Belgium 0, Slovakia 1. Crazy freaking game. Now the best way to describe what happened in that game is that Belgium looked sloppy. They just looked disjointed. They didn't look like a team that was playing for each other. They kind of looked like individual parts that were just playing a game together. And you're not used to seeing that from this team, especially with De Bruyne. He's usually the one that kind of is the glue that keeps them together. And not that he was bad, it's just that nothing was really working for them. Let's just say Slovakia was not the more talented team, for sure. They were not. Mm-hmm. But they got a goal in the 7th minute, and it kind of like their confidence grew, like, oh shit, maybe we can do this. Maybe Belgium's not this big bad team. And then of course Lukaku missed everything. So
I will say that Romania and Slovakia don't give a damn about the odds. They were picked to finish the bottom of their group E, and they're on top right now. Slovakia and Romania are on top.
What a crazy standings right now.
Yeah. Also, this actually did win my defensive play of the day, and it was David Henko. Ooh. I believe that's how you say it. Slovakia, because he denied that shot the 62nd minute with the keeper recovering and the open net against. Yeah, that was absolutely insane. And then he got just flying kneed into the face as well right afterwards. but yeah, he took a shot from a knee, and then he blocked that shot, and that was just amazing. I was like, I went wild on that defensive play. But that was my defensive play of the first round. I do have an honorable mention, and that was to Romelu Lukaku for continuing his form from Qatar's 2022 World Cup and doing anything he can to make sure there's no goal scored. I mean,
that dude loves that.
Right.
That's his favorite thing.
I think he's hit every post since the end of the World Cup last year. So
without making it
left, right? Yeah. Coming right off. That sucks. But
yeah, it's not looking good for him. And he technically he could have had maybe a hat trick, definitely a brace, but just wouldn't fall for him. And then there kept being offside, all kinds of stuff. Handball, I think. Yeah, handball.
Tough, man. I was like, he finally pulled through, and damn.
Definitely one of the biggest upsets of the tournament so far. And then moving into the next match, we have Romania versus Belgium, like we mentioned a second ago, and Ukraine versus Slovakia. And going into the next group, we had Austria versus France. And this game played out in Dusseldorf. Rainy game. Really, you can say that France looked like the better team. They were the better team.
They were the
They
bloodier team for sure.
yeah, exactly. I was just about to say they were out there slipping, sliding. They were getting tackled. But what it really came down to is I mean, of course, the goal is the score is 1-0, but it was an own goal. It wasn't even something that France did. And with all that attacking power that they have on the pitch, it was just kind of sad to see that they weren't working together. It wasn't happening for them. They had the ball, they had the possession most of the time. They just couldn't get the goal they needed. And once Mbappe got through one-on-one with the keeper and then kind of just put it behind the goal, it just didn't feel like it was going to be his day. You never felt like he was going to get it going. And then he breaks his nose after that. There's blood everywhere. I mean, you see his kit? It's like just completely red.
Yeah.
Freaking.
The Austria keeper was like, "Hey, y'all need to do something." There's
yeah, you know it's bad when that happens.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Crazy.
And then the note I have about Austria, to give them their flowers a bit, if you will, that we highlighted Wimmer as one of the young talents, and man, he was really, really good. When he came on, he completely changed that game for Austria. They started to be more brave, started to take it to France, thinking, without Mbappe on the pitch, that maybe they could actually win this or get a point from it. And he did create a lot of chances for the Austrians. They started to look dangerous, but ultimately it didn't happen. The only thing that concerns me, that they already said by this point that Mbappe is going to play, that he's going to wear a mask, so he has the broken nose, but it's going to come down to how much that actually affects him, because whenever he was not playing, whenever he wasn't on the pitch, that team looked like they had lost their confidence, like they didn't know what to do. And so, yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see how they go forward and what this team looks like with him. I mean, masked him. It sounds weird, but it could change a lot, that like his playing style.
Yeah, and for both these teams, we'll see how they are in the next match day. They both play Friday. France, we're going to see how confident they are going in against the Netherlands. They play Friday at 2. And Austria, I mean, if they want to stay alive, they play Poland Friday at 11 a.m. Poland and Austria need points. They're going to need this game. So if they want to stay alive in this group, they got to fight for that.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome to see. Do or die.
Mm-hmm.
Either whoever loses this game, if there's a draw, obviously it changes things a bit, but whoever loses this game, man, that is done. You are going home.
Yep.
Okay, I think we've covered that. Moving along to Turkey and Georgia, the game that nobody thought would be good. It was on Fubo TV again, so I don't think a lot of people watched it, but I did, and it was my game of the tournament so far. This game really did have everything. A lot of the star players on these teams, I guess I could say, they're star heavy, with the team has their one player and then everybody else is kind of a guy. But Turkey, obviously coming into this, is a favorite, and they win 3-1. But that doesn't really tell the whole story, because Georgia had their chances. And if you were watching this game, it was rainy, it was sloppy, but if you were one of the stars, you were kind of making things happen out there. Really, Turkey started off really strong on the offense, and if the goals that were scored in this game, like, just go watch the highlights. Every single one of them was amazing. They get up early, and then Georgia comes storming back. The goal that I'm going to highlight here, because we're not showing highlights, so I'm just going to talk about it, is Arda Güler's goal, the 19-year-old phenom for Real Madrid. We talked about him in our group breakdown. Man, he gets the ball and he just hits it perfectly, curling around everybody, curling around the keeper. It's beautiful. It was awesome. This guy's amazing. And this is why you watch these games. You don't think that going into the tournament, Turkey versus Georgia is going to be the game to watch, or the game that is going to kind of have everybody's attention. And it is. And that's why you watch these games. It was so awesome to see a lot of talent on both sides. I do have to give a shout out to, and of course I can't say his name. Vic, you want to give that a try? Mikadze?
Mikadze? Yeah, I think
I'm sorry. I'll learn it by next time. Mikadze. But yeah, the guy he did score one. Looked like the Georgian keeper should have been stopping it, but overall, I mean, the guy was amazing. He could have scored probably three. One of them that came in that could have really tied the game for Georgia at the time. I think it was 2-1. Yeah, it was. It was a free ball that was bouncing right in front of him, and then I can't even remember who the other dude was. Just jumped right in front of him and like kind of threw him off, and the ball goes out.
Yeah.
But if he wouldn't have, it would have been 2-2. I say 2-2, but the game did end 3-1, and it was really because the Georgian keeper came up for that last goal. They were trying to get it, get the 2-2 draw. And then they get a loose ball, they drive it in and hit an open net. It makes sense. It's kind of like, I understand you're going to score that, but like, it's kind of feels cheap. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I like it. I grew up watching hockey, so they always had an empty net whenever they were late, and it was just one of the things, part of the game. But yeah, that if it was 2-2, it would have changed things dramatically. But I don't know, man. It was kind of weird watching. Every time I see it, it's a 90+7, 97th minute, and it was the last touch of the game too. The game was over after that. So
yeah, that is true. I mean, it's cool, but when you see 3-1, it just tells a way different picture than the actual game played out. But not a hater here, not a hater at all. Turkey, good job. Georgia, hey, good job too. Great game, best game of the tournament so far, and that was the penultimate game of match day 1. The final game was Portugal versus Czech Republic. Everybody's saying Czechia now, and I don't know why it's bothering me, but I'm going to say the Czech Republic. And this game ended 2-1 to Portugal. The way that this game played out, it kind of felt like you're watching Portugal as the obviously more talented team going out there. But they were just trying to feed Ronaldo the whole time. So it felt weird because with all the talent they have, he's not the only one. He's the oldest one. He's the best. I don't even know if he's the best now, but he's the most well-known, and he's the one that's obviously going to be the talisman of that team. But it's not like they need him to score all the goals. They all do this for their clubs, and they're some of the best players in the world. But they didn't. They kept trying to force feed Ronaldo, and it really wasn't working in that first half. It felt really weird to watch them play a team that they were better than, but just not get those goals going. And then in the second half, whenever Czech Republic did score, I don't know if you watched it, Vic, but did you see Ronaldo's reaction to the goal?
I didn't see his reaction, so I was at work and I had a couple of meetings, but I did watch goals. Yeah, I know. I did watch all the goals, and whenever I watched the whole game after the game, I was like, dude, Czech Republic should have won this. Like, I mean, their 2 goals. Goal, and then the second goal in extra time was he was trying to like kneel on the ball. I don't know what was happening at that point, and it was just very poor defense. And I was the entire time after that game, I was like thinking, if he just like boots it out, you're at least at a tie. If we don't have an own goal, or not we, but if you don't have an own goal,
hey.
You're
Slavia
up.
Prague.
Yeah, Slavia Prague. That's right. I was just thinking that. I was like, man, Portugal stole this one, and I know all their fans are happy and everything, but man, that could have played out way different, and we'd be having a way different conversation right now.
See, whenever they scored, though, Ronaldo's reaction. So the goal goes in. What is it? The 62nd minute. It feels like the whole game just flipped on its head, and then. He's like the goal. He just sees it. He looks, and in the camera, he's kind of like, looking this way at the goal, and he turns this way, and he kind of like just shrugs his shoulders and is like, "Whatever. Like we're gonna get this." Yeah. And it's one of those moments where you see like Jordan, Brady, Ronaldo, Messi, right? Like you kind of just knew. You kind of just knew. Like I mean, the dude didn't. He just shrugged his shoulder. It's badass. It's if they end up winning this tournament, that's gonna be one of those clips that you watch where he's like. Whatever, like let's go, let's get it. Yeah. And of course, the own goal was the goal. But the reason that own goal happened, though, is because after that, the Czech Republic scored, Portugal was relentless. They had the most of the possession anyway, so they just kept going attack after attack. and then finally getting that own goal in, and then that's whenever you felt like, okay, like it happened, was 69th minute, like this might change. It does suck though, because as you mentioned, the goal that Portugal got to win the game and 90+2, if the guy, like, I guess he was trying to protect it from going through his leg, so he kind of shifted his knees in. It looked like he was trying to catch it with his knees. No. If he had just booted it, they draw.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it was pretty incredible to watch. And my manager sits right next to me, so I'm over here freaking out, like, oh my god, no. Like, what happened? I'm like, oh, soccer. Sorry.
Yeah. This report's not downloading.
Oh yeah, this report. Sorry.
And this one is a little tough for me, because as you guys know, I feel like I'm a little part Portuguese and part Czech Republic. I'm part Czech. Yeah, Czech's the word. Czechia. Because Czech from my wife's side, and Portugal just because I love it. Right. It was kind of torn which way to go. But a Portugal win, regardless of how it happened, seems right. And then going into their next matches, Portugal has Turkey Saturday at 11, and Czech Republic has Georgia Saturday at 8 a.m. So, fun games this match day one. I don't think I said it, but do you have a goal that you want to highlight, like your goal of the tournament?
Yeah, my favorite goal of match day was Arda Güler's. That was just a rocket. Like, it was really hard to find anything better than that one, especially at being 19 years old. Absolutely just awesome shot. My honorable mention though was the Poland goal that they scored off a header, because I did say that Netherlands were tall and they weren't going to give up a header, and that's immediately what they did. But
analysis, baby.
Yeah, analysis, baby. So that was one of 34 goals. Adam, can you tell me, out of those 34 goals, who the leading scorer of the tournament was?
Lukaku.
The attempts, but no, it's a 34-way tie. Nobody had more than one goal the entire game, or the entire match day. So 34.
So okay, so that means that Harry Kane is still going to be the top scorer in this tournament. Let's go. 30. That's crazy. No one scored a brace, and like all people scoring individual goals.
Everybody just scored one. That's it. It was just crazy.
Okay.
I just thought that was cool. Cool little stat.
Hopefully we change that up in match day 2. Yeah, I had my first goal of the tournament was going to be the Barella one from the Italy game. And then I switched it once Stanciu's first goal for Romania swept it in from outside the box. That one was beautiful. And then, the goals just kept coming. But the one that I ended on, actually, Turkey in their first goal, Mulder, I'm not say it. That was another one off a volley perfectly. But I really had to give it to Arda. That's our boy. We highlighted him. Yep. And I don't know if it was like technically, I think the technical goal was the first one. Christian called my boy Mert. I don't know his last name, but my boy Mert. His goal was more technical. It was really pretty to watch. But Arda, that goal felt like you're watching a boy turn to a man, right? Like he gets the ball, he turns, and he's in that box, and you're kind of like, there's no way. Like, because he's lining up. You see people line up for shots that far all the time. But then he just lets it rip, and then it hits the back of the net, and he's almost like he expected it. Like, well, why would you doubt that I was going to make that? And so I felt like, go ahead.
I was just saying the suspense built as well, because it seemed to be in the air for a very long time.
Like, as it just slowly turning.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just like we're watching. We talked about it before, like how he's going to perform, if he's going to get more minutes being healthy at Real this season. And he still might go on loan or something, but it felt like at that moment, you're like, yeah, this kid's real, and he's going to be a problem. And it was just like the attitude, like he just had some arrogance about him when he took that shot, and it worked. And I love it. That's my goal of the tournament so far. Turkey versus Georgia is my game of the tournament so far. And man, so much fun. Can't wait to watch match day 2 starting tomorrow, which I believe is Wednesday. I keep forgetting the days at this
Yeah, it's
point.
Wednesday.
Um,
8
but
a.m.
yeah, we're
8 a.m.
exactly getting it started early. It's going to keep on rolling through Euro 2024, and we thank you guys for being here with us. Hope you all enjoy the game as much as we did. And Vic, take us home.
Again, want to remind you guys, like, comment, subscribe. We are on every platform: Facebook, Kick, Twitch. We have one of those. I don't know if we're going to stream yet at all, but we do have a TikTok, all at No Business Soccer Podcast. Twitter, we have at No Biz Soc Pod. Just go look up No Business Soccer Podcast. You'll find us as well. But we do want to appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we will talk to you guys next time. Appreciate it.
We out.